Hello there. Welcome back to Must Know Before You Die. I'm Nia, your host, and as you might know, this season we're talking about using our 20s wisely. And today we're talking about something that's a big part of our lives. Dare I even say every day, every minute of our lives. And that's the internet and the complicated relationship we have with it. If you're in your 20s, you've grown up with screens as a constant companion. I remember I got the internet for the first time, maybe in my early teenage years, I would say. It was a very minimal access. I had to pay for every minute, so it was very expensive. And it was not even that fast, which made it not very satisfying to use at all. Fast forward to my 20s, I'm completely addicted to it. I had my first cell phone, a faster internet, and I've been on all social media sites and experienced everything from being constantly online and in constant sharing and chatting with friends the whole day to constant content creation, obsessing about likes and shares and how much attention my works are getting, to comparing my life to curated lives of strangers online, to deleting all social media and completely going offline and being that person that doesn't know anything that's going on online, to now, where I only use social media for news and entertainment, but not really as a primary way of connecting with friends and family. I I might also do content creation here and there, but only as a form of self-expression and self-improvement. Still, I feel like this whole online environment is very new to all of us, and we're all going through it and trying to figure it out together. Technology is more than just a tool, it's become a lens through which we experience the world. But here's the thing, this lens isn't neutral. It's crafted by algorithms designed to capture our attention, shape our desires, and influence our decisions. So, the question isn't just how much time we're spending online, but how these digital experiences are subtly shaping who we are and what we value. For example, think about the way social media curates content. It's not just showing you what your friends are up to, it's tailoring a narrative based on what it thinks will keep you engaged. Over time, this creates an echo chamber, a personalized bubble where you only see what aligns with your interests or beliefs and even insecurities. This isn't about FOMO, fear of missing out. It's about how our sense of self is being quietly influenced by what we're exposed to online. Let's go beyond the typical advice of setting screen time limits. Instead, consider the idea of digital intention. Every time you reach for your phone, ask yourself, what am I seeking? Is it connection, validation, distraction? By understanding the underlying need, you can make more conscious choices about how you engage with technology. For me, I know when I'm extremely tired or overwhelmed, mindlessly scrolling is especially enticing. And this is the question I'm trying to ask myself every time I pick up my phone. Mostly, it's just that I'm looking for an escape from thinking about something that's hard or escaping boredom, which is a very important thing to feel for creativity. This isn't about restriction, it's about intention. It's the difference between mindlessly scrolling and deliberately seeking out content that enriches our life. It's about choosing to engage with technology on our terms rather than letting it dictate our habits. Another layer to consider is the concept of digital identity. In a world where we curate our online personas, there is often a gap between who we are and who we present ourselves to be. This isn't necessarily a bad thing after all. Digital platforms allow us to explore different facets of ourselves. But what happens when the online persona becomes more real than the person behind it? In our 20s, it's a time for self-discovery and identity formation. This split can be particularly challenging. So the digital version of you might be more polished, more confident, and more interesting than you feel in your day-to-day life. But what happens when we feel our real selves are not good enough because our online identities are much more polished? What happens when we feel the real persona can never really measure up to the online identity? We kind of lose confidence in who we are in real life. The risk is that we might lose touch with the messier and more authentic parts of ourselves, the parts that make us human. I'm all for cutting back on screen time, but I feel it's more important to cultivate a digital environment that aligns with our values and goals. This might mean unfollowing accounts that no longer resonate with us, but it could also mean going deeper, asking ourselves why we're drawn to certain types of content in the first place. Are you seeking inspiration, or are you seeking an ideal that doesn't reflect your true self? Are you consuming content that challenges you to grow, or are you stuck in a loop of superficial environment? I know for me, it's really easy for me to get trapped into consuming inspirational content. And there is a thin line between healthy self-improvement and growth versus a constant state of dissatisfaction with how life is. A lot of my lifestyle, the products that I use, are influenced by the content I find on my phone. But then sometimes I'm like, oh, like perfect skin, perfect body, perfect home is actually unattainable. And there is also value in being content with how beautiful life is as it is. By being more selective about what we let into our digital space, we can create a more meaningful online experience, but also a more satisfactory offline life, a better life quality in general. Something I want to mention is the effects of technology on relationships. Yes, it is amazing that we can stay connected with loved ones across the globe, but have you ever noticed how digital communication can sometimes feel hollow? A text or a like on social media doesn't carry the same weight as face-to-face conversation. It's easy to mistake these digital interactions for genuine connection, but they often lack the depth and the nuance that comes from real in-person engagement. What happens when we prioritize digital interactions over physical ones? That's what's happening to a lot of young people nowadays. We might find that our relationships become more surface level, more transactional. In our 20s, when building meaningful connections is so crucial, it's worth considering how technology is influencing the way we relate to others. Are we maintaining relationships out of convenience, or are we investing in the kind of deep, fulfilling connections that truly matter? My rule of thumb is if I can call somebody and if we can meet in person very easily, then I'm only using texting to arrange that, not as a means of connecting an actual conversation. Texting can only make sense if somebody is not reachable, which is one of the reasons why we're also thankful for digital improvements. We can now stay in touch with family and friends far away. Digital detoxing isn't just about unplugging. It's about recalibrating our relationship with technology. It's not about rejecting the digital world, but about integrating it into our lives in a way that enhances rather than detracts. Maybe it's about finding moments of stillness amidst the noise, a morning walk without your phone, a meal without scrolling, or a day dedicated to analog experiences. These small acts of digital rebellion can help you reconnect with the world around you and with yourself. As you navigate your 20s, remember that technology is a tool and a mirror. It reflects back to us our desires, our fears, our values, but it's up to us to decide how we use it. And more importantly, how we let it shape us. By approaching our digital life with intention, awareness, and a sense of balance, we can harness the power of technology without losing sight of the things that truly matter, like actually living in the real world, actual conversations in the real world, and real connections with fellow humans. So here is the challenge. The next time you reach your phone, pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what if I didn't? What if for just a moment I let the digital world spin on without me? What would I see? Who would I be? I can't tell you what the answer will be because it's yours to discover. But I can promise you this. There is a world out there waiting for you just beyond the screen. And maybe, just maybe, the most revolutionary thing you can do in this digital age is to let yourself be, truly be in the present moment, without filters, without likes, just you in all your imperfect human glory. Thank you for listening to me today. Until next time, don't just live online, live.